Hey guys, this is Gemini Elite. Thanks for checking out my Fight Caves and Jad video guides. I got the headset specifically for this guide because I know it's very important to some people and I wanted to do this guide very well. Just to show you, I do have some fire capes, so hopefully the strategies I'll be telling you about will be very effective for you as well. The first video, the one you're watching right now, will tell you the recommended stats in the main 4 areas you'll need: ranged, hit points, defense, and prayer. After that, we'll move on to the recommended equipment, and I'll show you some cheaper alternatives as well. After that, we'll check out the inventory, and I'll tell you exactly what each item is doing for you in Fight Caves. That'll conclude the first video. In the second one, I'll teach you about specific monsters of Fight Caves and show you how to heal within the Fight Caves as well, since that's very important. And if you already know everything about the stats, equipment, inventory, and smaller monsters in Fight Caves, you may as well go straight to video 3, which is just going to be Wave 62 and all the preparations you need to do for Jad, and then I show you how to take down Jad himself. Stats. First, and most importantly, you want to have 80 plus range. It's going to shorten down the amount of time it takes you to get to Jad if you have higher range. It turns Fight Caves into a roughly a 2-hour process if you have 80 plus. If you have 70, it's going to take over 2.5 hours. And then if you fail, it's just going to be very frustrating. So 80 plus range. Next, hit points. You're also going to want to have 80 plus, so that when you Saradome and Brew, it's going to bring you to around 92 or 93 hit points, making it very unlikely that you'll die in one hit from Jad. You'll most likely survive making one mistake. After that, you're going to want to have at least 70 defense. 70 is great for wearing all sorts of Barrow's armor. It's a huge upgrade from wearing Dragon Hide armor. So really just get the 70 if you can.
And for prayer, I'm going to recommend you have at least 44. 44 will give you protection from magic and range that you need. It'll also give you Eagle Eye. If you have higher than 44, it helps a lot so that your super restores are more effective, but 44 is really all you need. Alright, that just about does it for stats. I think we'll move on to the equipment now.
This is the equipment I've had for every single Jad run I've done thus far, so it served me well. Hopefully you'll get something similar to it. We'll work our way from top to bottom. First, you're going to want to have a Varax helmet or a Helm of Knights. Either one, they're going to give you a good prayer bonus of +3, and Varax is going to give you a little bit better defense. It costs a lot more though. Helm of Knights is only like 50k, and Varax is also, you need to repair it, so it's a bit annoying, so I just wear the Knights. It gets me by just fine. Amulet of Fury, that's definitely the best option for your necklace. It gives you a +5 prayer boost, and a lot of other defensive stats that are useful.
The second best thing you could wear is probably the Gothic Stole, or any other god stole, but the Gothic's one is cheapest.
That's going to give you a +10 prayer boost, which is very helpful in slowing your prayer drain rate. As a third best option, you could probably get an Amulet of Ranging. Bolts, you're going to want Adamantite or Runite if you don't have 55 or higher Slayer. If you've got the 55 Slayer, go for Broad Tipped. They're very cheap, they're only around 130 GP each.
And they're well worth it. They have 100 range strength.
Next, you're going to want the backpack. There's no substitute for this. Do the quest Animal Magnetism and just get this item. It's going to save you a ton on bolts. It's going to pick up tons of steel arrows for you, making you at least 500,000 profit per hour. I'm just kidding about that. It's not really going to make you any profit. You're going to be dropping these stupid arrows. But the backpack is great. It gives you a small range boost. It's going to save, you're going to only use 1/4 of the bolts you would have. And just make sure to get it. Next, Rune Crossbow. There's no substitute for this as well. It's a great weapon. It also frees up your shield slot.
Alright, you got quite a few options when picking a shield. If you already have a Dragonfire shield, that's probably one of the best candidates to fill the shield spot. It's quite expensive, but has huge defenses with it. No prayer though. As you can see, I only have one summoning, so I can't get Valley Shield 3 or a Spirit Shield, which would both be better options than this book. But the book is still reasonable with +5 prayer bonus. So choose any one of those 4, preferably a Spirit Shield or a DFS. Alright, now we'll talk about the chest and the legs.
I like to wear Armadillo. It speeds up fight caves, albeit I get a little bit worse defense overall. It has great mage defense, but besides that, not really godly defense. So Armadillo will give you a huge range bonus if you just want to get things done fast. Alternatives for this that are much cheaper are Kirill's chest, and you can have Kirill's legs as well, or you can have Varak plate skirt. I would definitely recommend the Kirill chest though, as a second to Armadillo, because that'll give you a huge range boost. And then you can do Kirill or Varak's here, depending on if you need defense or more range. I wouldn't recommend the double Varak, but yeah, I guess that covers it for chest and legs. Onto the boots. Ranger boots are kind of expensive. They give you +8 to range. They cost around 13 million. As a backup to them, if you can't afford, just go for a dragon or rune. For the ring, Archer's ring or pretty much no other ring is going to help you very much. It's just a small boost anyway. And gloves, just wear the best gloves you can from Recipe for Disaster. Barrow's gloves are great. They're only 100k if you've done the quest, so definitely worth getting. And I think that's it for equipment right now. So next is the inventory. Inventory. The first thing I want to talk about is the primary source for healing throughout fight caves. If you can, get the Saradomin Godsword. It's the best item I could recommend for the job. As the second best thing, you could get the Guthun Spear. As you can see, by switching to the sword or the spear, I have that extra inventory spot right here for my shield slot to pop right into. So that's the reason why I didn't fill that with a potion. Okay, now we're going to talk about potions. First, I want to make sure that you guys bring 4 doses of every single kind of potion I'm going to talk about. Don't be stingy and try and get away with 3 potions because you're thinking you're going to save a little bit of money. It is definitely not worth it because you might run out of resources on Jad himself and you'll be kicking yourself for not just spending the extra GP. So make your life a whole lot easier and just get 4 of everything. Alright, first kind of potion. Saradomin Brew. This is going to be acting as your emergency food throughout the fight caves. You're going to want to have 7 to 10 of these. More like, if your defense is bad like mine, you're going to want to have closer to 10. If your defense is really high, you can get by with 7 or even less of these. Alright, so 7 to 10 of the Saradomin Brew. It basically heals you by 15% of your maximum hit points. So, as you can see, it's healing me up, and it healed me to 99 just now, 99 out of 99, and then it will also heal me above my maximum hit points. Alright, so it's the only kind of food that will do that for you, so it's definitely worth bringing. In addition to the hit point boost, it'll also bring my defense up by around 20% or so. So I get 86 defense, but as you can see, by drinking 3 sips of that, it hurt a lot of my other important stats, mostly my range. I can't allow my range to be this low for fight caves. It didn't affect hit points at all. Sorry, it didn't affect prayer at all, so don't worry about that. But my range is way too low right now, so what I'm going to do is you drink a super restore. You see, it brought back my prayer. I kept my 115 HP. You know, you keep your defense boost as well. And all the stats get fixed by the super restore. So that's why I'm recommending these instead of just regular prayer potions. The super restore is going to recover 1/3 of your maximum prayer total. So 1/3 of my 70 is roughly 23, but these actually bring back a little bit more. They bring back 25 from me. And I'd like to suggest that you bring 13 to 16 super restores. After you've fixed your stats, that's when you want a range potion. It's going to bring you 12 or 13% above your maximum, which is quite a lot, especially when fighting Jad, since he's got huge defense and any bonus to help you hit him is going to make the fight a lot shorter. So carry 1 or 2 of these potions. Alright, the last item is Dragon Bolt's E. You're going to want about 100 of these. As a cheaper alternative, you could go with Diamond Bolt's E, but you definitely want something better than Broad for the fight against Jad. These will carry you from waves 1 through 62 just fine, but against Jad you want to make the fight as short as possible, give yourself the least chance of making a mistake. So you'll want about 1,000 or 1,500 of Broad Tipped, and 100 is more than enough for Dragon or Diamond E. Make sure you get the E. The Enchanted helps. Okay, part 1 is done. I hope to see you guys at part 2.